Hello, everyone. Welcome. You're actually at the Psychic Tarot Show with Ashala. The background is not available at the moment. Apparently, I'm synced up with the Daily Astro Show with Meg, and I can't seem to do anything about that. I've already put a call in to say help. So here we go. This is the Psychic Tarot Show with Ashala. We are looking at forecasts for this upcoming week between today, which is the 26th of April, going until, gosh, we're already into the month of May. So let's have a look. I'm just clearing the cards. This is how I kind of sort and organize everything at the beginning of the show. And my apologies, it took me a while to try to find my background and decided I would just have to do it without. So before we get started here, everyone, please remember, like, share, and subscribe. Let me pull up our information for you. There we go. Beyond Mystic YouTube channel. You can find us here. There it is, the Psychic Tarot Show, the weekly forecast with Ashala. You can also follow us over on Rumble. So we're streaming live on Rumble and X channels. And if you would like to book a consultation with me, you can find me here on the Beyond Mystic Consultations page, where you can book a 1-hour psychic tarot card reading that is recorded, and you'll receive the recording after your reading. I will email it to you. So how is everybody feeling this week? Fire within. No worries, we love you, right? I could do the Daily Astro Show. I think I could channel Meg and we would do just great. Hello, everyone. Thank you. We're all okay. What an amazing 7 days it's been, exactly as I predicted. For me anyway, it did feel really raucous and really one extreme to the other in literally a split second, like juxtapositions all over the place. So Debs are saying, hey, woozers. Aw, hi, Eden. Respect from Scotland. Lovely to see you. Hi, Pat. RT Tucker. Aw, really lovely to see all of you here. So let's tune our energies in together. Take a big, deep breath. Ground down. Feel your root going down to connect with Source at the center of our beautiful Earth home. I like to imagine it like it's a giant toroidal generator, which really we know it is. And it's literally creating matter out of consciousness. And I even perceive at the center of that magnetic strength is this gentle pulse, a magnetic pulse. And so I like to call that pulse up into my being. Just breathe it into deep relaxation, like really settle into, I like to say our Earth Mother is squeezing us tight, holding onto us with her magnetism so we don't float away. Really ground into that, settle, lean into that embrace, and feel yourself stabilizing. Beautiful. And now we continue to breathe into the heart while we bring our awareness out into cosmos and tune in with this radiant frequency of loving light, which is all around us in every direction. And we just breathe it into our hearts. Beautiful. So we are perfectly aligned, harmonized, and balanced between Earth and cosmos. And it's in this power neutral portal of the heart that's aligned with the greater good of all that we're tuning in to receive insights that are going to be supportive and helpful for us in this upcoming week. I've got larger cards. I decided I wanted to be able to make them more visible. So let's bring that screen into large focus here, and the large cards, hopefully you'll be able to see them better. It's really, I'm used to working with the smaller decks. I've been using them for a number of years now, and it just seems like these cards are huge, but they're actually just normal sized. This is the Rider-Waite deck. For those of you that are not familiar with it, it is a classic tarot deck. It's the kind of main Western tarot deck that most of the other tarot decks, the modern decks, are kind of modeled after the imagery on this one. This, I believe, was created in 1909, the original version of it. So let's look ahead at this week. We're starting off in the house of Aries, which is, move this light a little bit. There we go. Let's see if I can get it to be in a position where it's going to bring light, but not shadow. There we go. In the house of Aries, Aries is our personality, our ego. It's what we're showing up with. Where are we at? It's almost like an internal read of the overall energy of our human collective at this time, especially our community. Well, this is a very good card if you want to be discerning, if you want to be no BS, if you want to make good boundaries and have clear intentions. It's great. It's not the warmest card, but it indicates that we are in our minds, we are ready to be very sovereign and very clear and have really good boundaries and be very discerning. So I think it's pretty good to show up like this in the current climate on our planet. I think it's an excellent starting point. So good job, everybody. The next one, okay. So I've talked in past weeks about exalted cards in a particular house. For those of you tarot readers over there, how and why would our King of Pentacles be one of the best cards you can have in the house of Taurus? If you actually look on this card, you'll see that it's got the rams and the bulls both on the throne of our King of Pentacles. He is the Earth King. So we have the 4 elements in the tarot. We have air, fire, water, and earth, also known as the swords, the wands, the cups, and the pentacles. He is the Pentacle King. So he is earthly. Taurus is the house of our earthly material world. It's the house of our resources, our money, our security, our material possessions, homes and cars and all of that sort of stuff. Very, very positive card to have in that position. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Aw, thank you. So we've got a queen and then we've got a king. Really powerful for working on character development. So there's 16 court cards. I feel like I'm giving you a little tarot lesson this week. Apparently that's what we're doing. There's 16 court cards, which means pages, knights, kings, and queens. And there's one of each of those in all of the 4 suits. So there's 16 in total, and they are like personality types. They're like aspects of character development. So the Queen of Swords, she's very clear-headed, focused. She's intellectual. She's, she's got really good boundaries. She doesn't put up with BS. The King of Pentacles is the Earth King. He's very actualized in the material realm. He can be, he represents as an archetype someone that is like a builder or, in agriculture or works in banking or finance. It's that kind of material realm. So this is a very good aspect. It means we're working on developing our material skills this week. So in some way, you are up leveling to a high masterful level, by the way, because the king is the highest level of actualization. So we are all learning a lot about money, resources, how to work with our money. This is an excellent week. Combined with her, she's very budget conscious. She's very good at designing and organizing systems. She's a good administrator. So far, we're focusing on our financial planning and our material resources. Okay, now we come into the house of Gemini, which is our thoughts. And right away, we're in the feeling realm. Now, interesting, I was doing a course earlier in the week, and it was explaining which do we think comes first. Do we think that our thoughts create our feelings, or our nervous system responses create our thoughts? And the jury's kind of out yet scientifically around that, but there's a lot of evidence to suggest the first thing that happens, and I believe this, is that we have a nervous system response to our reality unconsciously. We perceive things going on in our environment, in the larger world environment. We perceive them with our nervous system subconsciously way before we see evidence of them in the conscious realm. And that creates an emotion. And then we start to create a thought that goes along with that emotion. Why am I feeling this way? It must be because of this, or this. So perhaps what we're doing is we are looking at acknowledging that maybe our emotions and our nervous system are asking to be cared about separate from our thinking. Like, we can't just reprogram through our thoughts. We've got to literally reprogram our nervous system. So Gemini, among other things, is about the nerves. It's about the electrical system of the being. And this is a card that has a lot to do with grief. It has a lot to do with living in the past and having old emotional reactions to things based on our nervous system. So this is an interesting step for us here. If we say our thoughts don't create our feelings create our thoughts. So we could work on our nervous system, help to regulate our nervous system before we start attaching thoughts to our feelings. That's an interesting way of looking at it. So here we go. We are now in the house of Cancer. Cancer is home, it's safety. Well, we haven't felt a lot of stabilizing home and safety in this house for a couple of weeks, I think, maybe even 3 or 4 weeks. It hasn't been very stable. This week, it looks fantastic. Your home is your sanctuary this week. So it's a great week, and this is the card of the sovereign individual. So it's a great week to reconnect with your, whatever it is that your habits, your things that you do in your home that help you feel like you have a sanctuary. This is less about things that you share with others in your home. This is more about taking that quiet time to really enjoy whatever kind of sanctuary you can create for yourself this week. It's also really good. Look at this. It's a good week to do something in the material realm, because that's the Pentacles are all about money, resources. You might even want to spend a little bit of money on fixing up some part of your home to create more of that sanctuary feeling. So that's a lovely, lovely card to have in that house. Okay, now we go on to Leo. Leo, among other things, is about our courage. It's about our confidence in ourselves. It's about what we are allowing to come to us. So not the greatest card to have in Leo, not the worst, but it feels like we could be really flip-flopping from feeling very confident, very competent, to feeling really unstable. This is in Leo. Again, it is about courage. It is also about being put off kilter by other people. So kind of a week for staying in your own lane. I mean, we see that often, but it could be a week to recognize that you may easily get thrown off balance by people around you. And when you do, just take some time, take some me time, some personal time. Yeah, interesting. Let's see what comes in the house of Virgo. Health, habits, lifestyle. Okay, so something that you have started, something that you're working on, something that you've already been improving with. Have you ever noticed that you can do something positive in terms of your health, your habits, your lifestyle, whatever, and it kind of hits a plateau and then it doesn't change, or it could feel like you're not really getting anywhere? I feel as though this card is saying, hang in there this week, everybody. Hang in there. The results of your efforts around caring for your health are improving, even though it doesn't appear that way. So you notice, even though this person appears to be hanging in limbo, there could be a lot of feeling like you're in limbo, especially around getting results. I want to say, even in the little details of life. Like we had this a bit last week too. It was like all the efforts you put out, you don't feel you're getting the results that you would normally expect for the amount of effort you're putting out. It's okay, because you'll notice that even though this character is suspended in limbo, they are enlightening themselves. They are actually like waking up more, or something is evolving. If you turn this the other way around, you can see this character has actually got a halo that's growing. So even though it appears that nothing's happening and they're in suspense or suspension in limbo, there is beautiful evolution happening. There is improvement, and you just may not be seeing the results quite yet. I would say give it another week and a half. 12 days. That's card number 12. All right. And we go to Libra. Just checking in with the comments. Aw, yeah, becoming illuminated. Enlightenment. Beautiful. Spirit sanctuary. Definitely. Hi, Margot from Cape Town. Hi there. Did you mean you're saying, I like this card pull so far. So I don't want to jinx it, but I want to say that I was reflecting after last week's overview forecast for the week. I was like, wow, that was kind of bizarre. Like it felt very two-sided, almost like two realities going on at the same time. And I was like, it's hard as a reader to talk about that. It's like, okay, it's this, but it's that, but it's this, but it's that. And I was kind of feeling a little sad that it was challenging for me to express how kind of juxtaposed everything felt. But then I was thinking, oh my gosh, I remember back in let's just say early 2022, all the way into probably late 2023 and early 2024. I remember all the scary cards in the overviews every week, like non-stop scary cards. Some of you have been with me that long. Do you remember that? It used to just be like, I'd be like, oh my gosh. But of course, we knew we were going through huge stuff at that point. I mean, we still are, but it does feel like We are out of the woods. Even if we don't see the full evidence of it yet, it feels different. It feels different because I can remember week after week after week, month after month for about a year there, it just being super heavy stuff. So, we've been seeing quite a lot of good stuff. Let's knock on wood to keep that up. All right. Okay. So, a big transformation. I just spoke about heavy stuff, and there's kind of a heavy one now. Watch, it's going to be the rest of the whole spread. You can all laugh at me and with me if that's the case. So, transformation in the house of our agreements and our relationships. Some things are sort of dying a natural death. And the death card, everybody gets worried, just like the hangman, everybody gets worried. It's like, oh no, this is not, someone's not being hung. They are literally suspending so that they kind of stay out of trouble. You could almost see it like the cocoon. That's the chrysalis hanging there before the butterfly comes out of it. That's what the hanging man is really about. And I used to call the death card the happy gardener. It's like composting things, pruning things. It is making things healthier because stuff has to, cutting away the dead wood, cutting away the old things that have to be let go. This doesn't mean you need to leave your relationship, but it means that there's things in our relationships, there's things in the agreements, even the words, even the, like the laws around the contracts and agreements of our everything, our marriages, our partnerships, everything. It's like there's some part of the unhealthy parts of those words and spells and so on that are being released right now. And instead of being anxious, like, oh, I don't want like no commitment. I don't want just free for all in relationship. I want commitment. I want spiritual commitment, right? That's what really, marriage is supposed to be a commitment in the eyes of God and our spiritual community. It isn't about the state. It isn't about ownership. So I think there's something going on inside of all of our relationships, all of our agreements, where we feel differently and we can allow, interesting, right? There's that Queen of Swords across from it. We want to prune away things. And this could also be in specific relationships that you're in. There may need to be a pruning away of the dead wood. And that doesn't mean you have to leave someone, but you have to maybe consider letting go of a certain way of your attachment to that relationship. So it's just something to consider. And this doesn't happen overnight. This is, especially with the hangman decided, this is a slow transition. It's a transition card, which is beautiful. The happy gardener. Okay, so here we are in the house of Scorpio. Scorpio is it is that transformation, transition, letting go of the old. And we have the number 9 of wands in that house. So 9s are, again, the coming to the end of a cycle, gathering, completing something. We are in a 9 year. 2025 is a 9 year. It is a year of synthesizing everything and releasing. So there's going to be shedding of skins this year. There's going to be shedding the old. I think, we have a lot of grief and a lot of mental anxiety that's built up because we've been just taking in so much information. And every once in a while, we have to take a little bit of time to go inward and go, what am I letting go of? I certainly have experienced this being a truther for decades. I would just sort of consume all these truths and become kind of saturated by them and overwhelmed. But I hadn't released what I knew I could never have again. Like once you know all these things, there's certain things that you are, basically needing to reframe a lot of parts of your life, a lot of your values, a lot of your beliefs, a lot of your habits. And that takes some time to integrate all that. So this week is a little bit of that energy. We have 2 9s so far. 2 of a kind is a blessing. 9 is that synthesizing everything, transmuting, recycling. We've got the Death card. There's that energy of recycling. We've got the Hangman, that energy of, being in the chrysalis, in suspension. So that's the feeling so far. How is that landing with all of you? Does that feel like something that you are ready for? Information burnout. Yeah. So, thank you, Hermela 13. Thank you for that. It is, again, like I said, we are burned out from all the information because we haven't emptied the trash. There's parts of it where we want to say, okay, now I can let go of that. So even in your truther narrative, over the last 3 or 4 years, there might be things that you really thought and believed 3 years ago, and they're no longer feeling as relevant. I like to say we don't need to throw everything out and say, goodbye forever. I kind of liken it to where we have the trash can in our computer. You can put it there, but you can still retrieve it later if you need to. So I feel like that's the layer we're taking off. We're just going, okay, some of this doesn't feel relevant anymore, but it might come relevant again. I'm not saying never, never. It's just it doesn't feel that important at this point. And so we just clear some of that out. And I think that's part of why we get that information. Yeah, make room for the new to come in. That's part of why we get overwhelmed. Aw, thank you, everybody. Delete your trash pile. Well, you maybe don't need to fully delete the trash pile yet, but you definitely need to put it all in bins and out somewhere where it's not overwhelming you anymore. And to do that, we want to say, it's sorting through stuff. And it literally, sometimes I find it helpful to literally go back and sort through my emails. It's interesting, right? This is the Hanging Man is a lot about, we feel like there's nothing we can do. We're like stuck. We're stuck on pause. We're stuck on hold. There's so much we can do. I like to periodically go back, look through all of that old stuff and reorganize it and go, okay, she's a great organizer, this Queen of Swords. Okay, maybe I'm going to file these things away. Did you notice? I mean, I certainly noticed a couple of years ago, 2, 3 years ago, I was just getting, even now, it's constantly coming. I've got people sending me stuff all the time, but like it was just coming so fast and furious that I was like, my inbox just kept getting bigger and bigger. I didn't want to delete it. I didn't want to. So that is a metaphor for going back and maybe even, organizing that a little bit. Just taking a moment this week to do a bit of that. Even if you just do the first basic layer of that and get rid of some stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Collectively clearing our cache. Yeah. Carol, thank you. Especially insightful given the, intensities of the energies of this past week, right? And it is perspective building when we go back and look at the old stuff. And this year is about that. And if you think about it, it's like we need to sort of stabilize that past almost like integrate it, recycle it, and clear what we don't need from it anymore so that we can be ready to move in this new direction. Because it's not going to stay like this forever, folks. It really is not. It's natural law says there's just time and a season and a reason for everything. And this too shall pass. And we will be busy. The analogy came up this week in a couple of readings where I always remember after my first child was born, both my children were late, meaning that, I was like more than 10 days overdue with both of them. And there was this sense of waiting, especially with my first daughter. It was this, I was waiting and it just felt like I was pregnant forever. And I remember being like, oh my gosh, I can't wait. And then about a month after she was born, I thought, what was I doing? Well, I was sitting there doing nothing. I could have been getting food in the freezer for the next 6 months. I could have been doing all this stuff that I didn't do. And then I didn't have time to do it for months after, right? And so I feel like we've got a bit of this going on. It's that, what would you tell yourself, let's say 2 or 3 years down the road? If you look back at yourself now, you'd be like, hey, you know what? Get everything done right now. Because there's going to be a lot of newness. Next year, year of the fire horse, hang on to your hats. We are going to be going at such a pace. This is the year to do all that retrograding planets, all that going back through the past, sifting through everything, reinterpreting things. This is the time. So anyway, this feels like part of what we're doing this week. Oh my gosh. Right. We are so tired. Look at this burnout in the house of Sag. The part of us that is longing for novelty and newness and curiosity and adventure, again, we are topped up. We are like, you know what? I don't need any new information. I'm tired. I need to take some time and go through everything that's already come in. It's interesting. I'm even going back to some old videos and rewatching them. I'm going back and I just feel drawn to do that. It's almost like I think I might have missed some things. I think I might have been going so fast, taking in all this information. I'd like to go back and review. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Let's see what's up at the top in Capricorn. Oh, how so sweet. How so sweet is that? So 6 of Cups in Capricorn. Capricorn it's almost like where we're going ultimately. It's like our purpose, the climb to become more self-actualized, the better version of us. The 6 of Cups is, in a way, it's a nostalgia. It's going back to the simple pleasures of life. It's returning to the simple values of life, simplicity. It is also so much about the young generation, the children, the new children. And I've been talking lately about the beta children. I don't like those names, by the way, but I'll use those categories just because it's in the common lexicon and we know, what we're talking about. It's interesting, the common lexicon of the Z generation, and then the alpha generation came after the Zs, and now the betas are coming in 2026. They're starting to come in, and they'll be coming in for about 6 to 12 years. I've been picking up messages from them. I never got that with the Zs or the alphas, but these little kids are coming into the readings. They're showing up and saying, guess what? We are ready to work with our boomer grandparents and great grandparents. We want to learn from them. We have these active, curious little minds, beautiful hearts, and we are ready to pick up this, like these teachings. We're ready to be taught. And it's interesting, we struggled, I think, a lot with the Z generation. And I like the concept. I heard someone saying they were like the sleeping generation, meaning that they were in the dream time. They were holding the transitional time over the, sort of like all of these pivotal moments, right? 9/11, 2012. So they were these people that came in to literally hold the dream time space. And that's partly why they seem to be living in like an altered reality. A lot of them, they don't feel as grounded in 3D. But these little beta kids that are being born starting next year are, oh my gosh, they are little super beings that are going to be very, very curious and able to receive a lot of teaching and have tremendous insights and motivation, be very heart centered. And I was upset when I looked into, just seeing what is in the common narrative about that. All of the major media outlets starting in early 2025, because that's when they say the betas are coming. I actually think they're not coming in till the beginning of next year. They were made this big sweeping analogy about how these kids are going to be part robot. They're going to be like the tech, they won't even be interested in being human. They'll all want AI parts. And I was just like, oh my gosh, they're trying to hijack this energy. I see, of course, we know there's going to be two streams, but I see a lot of these ones going the other way. So I hope that's helpful. And I don't know why that came in right now, but it feels like it's important for us to. Oh, hi, Coco.